BeTheTalk, episode 277, featuring Ana Nives Radovic. Welcome to BeTheTalk. We go behind the talk 7 days a week for tips and techniques to help you change the world. I'm Nathan Eckel, and a talker myself, I'm interviewing others who change the world with their talk. You can too, even if you've never given a talk before. Let's get started with today's show. We are live with Ana Nives Radovic. Ana, are you ready to talk?
Yes, of course.
Ana Nives Radovic is a painter who graduated both from economics and EU law, who holds a master's in finance but never gave up painting, selling all paintings for humanitarian purposes and giving courses on blockchain finance. Ana is inspired by sharing knowledge and ideas. Ana Nives Radovic, welcome to the talk.
Thank you for inviting me.
Your talk is called TecHumanity, and you have different passions in life. You have the passion to paint, as well as you have a passion for numbers, and that has led you to get involved in this new blockchain emerging technology. So please take us behind the talk, Ana.
Well, as you might have seen from the talk, the first and the original inspiration was painting. And at the age of 6 or 7, I decided to be a painter. My TEDx talk was actually about how you should never give up your childhood dream, because it's the best career advice you can give yourself, or anyone can give. Of all those advices anyone can give you, your childhood dream and your childhood goal is actually the best career advice. Regardless of what we see in the rest of our lives, and no matter what other challenges we take, sticking to the very first idea that we had at some age, and the way we imagined our life in future at the age of 6 or 7 is actually something that is the most sincere and something that actually fits to our personality. At the age of 7, I decided to be a painter. At the age of 12, I started to take courses to be a painter. But at the age of 19 or 18, I decided to be something else. And actually, that was now I can say it was not a mistake. But at that time, I might say that it wasn't the perfect thing that I was supposed to make at that time. My experience later proved me that my childhood dream was actually the best choice I had ever made. And my talk was about why to believe in your childhood dreams, and also to make your children believe in their childhood dreams, to allow them to be creative and to stick what they actually have in their minds. Because you feel comfortable only if you do something that is close to you. Painting close to me. That's how I actually ended up in blockchain, because blockchain and all those mathematical and financial, that kind of part, is actually something that is very close to painting, because it doesn't have any rules that a human being has actually made, and somebody can change those rules. Those rules are like close to natural rules, and nobody can change them. So the rules are very obvious. The rules might be hard to understand for some people, but the rules are very simple for everyone who understands it. The same principle is in painting and in blockchain, and that's why I connected those two activities, and that's why I love my job now.
So, Ana, I'd love to hear the backstory about the numbers part. You told us the backstory of your passion as a child for painting. We know you're doing blockchain right now. We know you're marrying the two, but where does the numbers come into it, and when did that start in your background?
Well, the idea of getting my very first job was firstly connected to tourism and marketing and sales and so on, especially because I live in the area where tourism is the most developed type of industry. However, my passion for mathematics, for numbers, made me go to the bank. I was trying to find a job in a bank. My very first job was in a bank, because my very first idea and my very first thought about the banking was the fact that I will deal only with the numbers, without some mathematic rules, and that I will never have to deal with somebody's bad decision that could be harmful to some other people. My idea was to do with the mathematics as somebody who really loves the finance. That's why I ended up in the bank, because my thought was that if I work with the numbers, there could be no human decision that could be something that might cause bad emotions in somebody's mind. However, that proved wrong when I actually got the decision decision from my boss in a bank, who decided to go further with the credit payments with the people who had debts, and to have some other procedures for them. That was the moment where I felt how even finance, even numbers can be unfair. Mathematics couldn't be, but finance are something with a very, very big human impact. And that's actually how I ended up in finance. Actually, all the time I was trying to find some justice inside of the financial job, trying to find how actually working in finance could be something, how working in finance could be something that is not just something that is related to all those people who just bring some decisions and ruin somebody else's life, in terms of, I want to make some decision, I want to increase income on one side and to destroy somebody else's life. Banks do that one way or another, but I was trying to find where's the justice in finance, and are there any principles where you can work in finance but still be very, very do something good for the rest of the people. Blockchain technology was something that seemed to me like something that was really fair to the rest of the people, not just for the bankers and for the banking stakeholders and so on, but also something that is fair for the whole world. And that is actually how I connected finance and everything that is connected with humanity and something doing good for the people.
Well, hey, thank you for having a mind and a heart for justice and for doing good. I resonate with much of what you're talking about. I worked at a bank as well, and it's funny how some of those decisions are made. It's a very there are different things to balance, and a lot of different people and stakeholders and considerations. So we've been enjoying this talk with Ana Nives Radovic. And her talk is called TecHumanity. What we're going to do in just a moment is pivot over to the Blitz round, where we talk about her journey to the stage. So we'll see you over there in just a moment. Hey, Talk Universe. I hope you've been enjoying today's episode with today's guest. But you know what? Many people want more than that. Many people that listen to Be The Talk actually want to give a talk. And if that's you, you're not alone. Listen to the rest of this podcast. At the end, I'll have a free resource for you just for listening. And we're back. It is time for the Blitz round with Ana Nives Radovic. Ana, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
I'm going to ask Ana a series of either-or questions related to the preparation and performance of her recent talk. Question number 1, were you invited to speak or did you apply?
I was invited. I was invited by people who recognize me as somebody who is in the blockchain technology, because the topic of whole event was more connected to technology, and I was some kind of pioneer in blockchain technology in my country. I was among a very small group of people who was there at the very beginning.
So are you a memorizer, an improviser, or a blender, Ana?
Well, I'm not quite sure how to respond, if it's a correct response, because in this type, I can say that there was some kind of mixture of I was somebody who's talking about my own experience and not presenting some kind of research or anything. So it was just my own experience. So I can say that I was like presenting something that happened to me, that was trying to send a message to anyone else who it could be useful. And I think that regardless how far and how maybe it's not the topic couldn't be close to everyone, but the thing is actually that the message could be close to everyone in the world.
Now, Ana, what's a tip, a tool, or a technique that helped you prepare?
Well, a tip or tool or anything that could be helpful for anyone who is preparing any kind of talk is just to choose the words that are comfortable. My whole talk was about choosing something that is comfortable for you to do in life, like something that as a child you decide to be something because you feel comfortable doing this. Do not prepare by using very professional language, by trying to impress somebody. be honest, be sincere, talk what's in your heart, talk by heart, talk something that is normal for you, like you will talk with the friends. Don't think that the TEDx audience, because at one point there are about hundreds of people in front of you, but your video will be visible by anyone in the world. So tell it the way you will tell to a friend. Don't think about how many people, because everyone you can think of could see your TEDx talk in future. So don't prepare like you want to impress someone. Talk like what you are. Talk, be very, very honest, choose very simple words. And try to be funny as well. And also try to fight the technology regardless how it's helpful to us, because at the moment of my TEDx, there was also some issues with technology like anywhere else in the world. And I was talking about technology, and it was like, oh my God, I chose to talk about something that doesn't work, but my TEDx worked.
Well, hey, and that's my next question. What was the most unexpected, strange, or just plain weird thing that happened during your talk or right before you went on stage, Ana?
When I was at the rehearsal, everything went perfectly. The microphone, the sound, the pointer for the PowerPoint presentation, and so on. During my TEDx talk, the pointer for PowerPoint presentation lost the batteries or something. It was very, very hard to point. And even on the video, I was shown like somebody who is giving some comments somewhere in the distance, like I'm trying to contact somebody extraterrestrial, like showing the pointer far away in the public. Okay, I want the signal on my presentation. So that was actually the worst part of it. Everything else went perfectly, but the sound was okay. On the video, it was broken in several points, especially when I was talking about how actually I was referring to John Lennon's song Imagine. Mm-hmm. That was actually the very idea. And when I said that on the video, it's not visible because the microphone broke at that moment, and I saw faces in the audience, people who were saying, okay, was it supposed to be like, what did she say? And of course, you don't have enough time to repeat anything. So if you see that the technology doesn't work perfectly, just feel free to repeat something. Leave some room for your talk to be some words until you get the feedback from the audience that you wanted. If you don't see them laughing, then try to repeat it in some way so they get the message. Probably the microphones and something broke, and probably they do not get the message the way you hear yourself, because you're on the stage and they're in the audience, and the sound doesn't work perfectly. So when you see it, try to get the feedback you want. I mean, if it's not funny, nobody will laugh, of course, but you don't want to be funny on the stage. But if you see that there should be some message that should cause some emotions, try to reach that emotion, because your TEDx or any kind of talk wouldn't be full without it, wouldn't be complete.
Well, we've been enjoying this Blitz round with Ana Nives Radovic, and her talk again is TecHumanity. If you want to find out more about her, you can go to our Be The Talk website. We will have a link to her talk. We will also have a link where you can connect with her at perperzona.me, PERPERZONA.me, and we'll have a link there to Ana's website. And we'll be back in just a moment with the final word of advice from Ana. Hey, Talk Universe, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you want to give the talk to change the world, but you don't know how or even where to start, no problem at all. Go to BeTheTalk.com/get accepted for my new 5-day email course that'll show you how. Absolutely free. Just go to BeTheTalk.com/get accepted. And it is time for the final word of advice from Ana Nives Radovic. What is it?
Well, just whenever you prepare for some kind of talk, think about your message and think what's the best way to share that message. Don't think about anything else, because your message is the most important thing, and that's why you're on the stage. You're not on the stage to shift anybody's emotions. You're not on the stage to cause anybody laugh or cry or anything. You're there to submit the message and to make that message universal. Try to talk about universal topics, regardless how audience is close or far from your topic, can learn something from you. So be comfortable with who you're talking to, but be comfortable with your topic, but also be comfortable with the fact that you will be visible to billions of people worldwide. So make unique message so everybody can quote you in future.
Ana Nives Radovic, thank you so much for coming on the talk today and sharing your wisdom with Talk Universe.
Thank you so much for inviting me.